When the team leaves tonight, what are they going to be going home with?
I would expect very little, because I think this is really just round one of what is likely to be a long and protracted process. I think it's sort of getting to know you, getting a sense of where each side stands on the issue, and I think as a result, not much concrete is likely to be coming home with this team.
And therefore, no short, sweet resolution or quick deal then?
Probably not. I mean, the only reason that you would have a short, sweet thing is if Trump himself decided to package up something else and say, I declare victory and the whole thing is done, which is unlikely. But, you know, he is that kind of leader. And if he decided that North Korea is solved and therefore China's been wonderful and now we're done, he could do so.
Okay, he could call the dogs off. I get it here. Yeah, and there's always that North Korean angle as well. The USTR Bob Lighthizer just a couple of days ago was saying, look, we're not out to change the way that China does things, its economic system. Do you buy that?
No, they really, there are at least probably of the 7 people who are in the room having this negotiation, at least 7 different ideas of what it is that they want to accomplish, which is part of the problem. But among those 7, some of them genuinely do want the Chinese to change their system, and pretty radically at that, which is why this is going to be long, painful, and protracted. Wow,
so pretty discordant and fractured there. Does that make it harder for the Chinese to respond in kind, or for them to negotiate? Because when they're looking across the table and they know, assuming their intelligence is pretty up to date, that, look, these guys are just not all on the same page.
Yes, it's very difficult. I mean, even if, again, forget the substance of the issue, anytime that you have to negotiate with 7 people, there's no clear leader among the 7 at the moment. So you're looking at 7 different people with 7 different ideas of where we're trying to go. How would you actually respond to those 7 ideas of where we're trying to head? Impossible. It would be impossible for you to cut a deal that would make 7 different outcomes possible all at once. That's why I think this 48-hour negotiation is unlikely to result in any concrete outcomes, and certainly not resolve anything, because it's too complicated. So right now we're in the sort of getting to know you phase, I think. What of these 7 people, who's likely to be the leader, and what are their particular issues? And then China will go back and say, well, now that we have that, where are we going to land? Where do we think maybe is who's dominant, who's not? What are their issues? How can we resolve those issues, if at all? And start that internal conversation in China. How do we respond?